Hey, I am back again just a few minutes later with Blueberry, who apparently only wants to show you her butt right now. Um, had to employ these to cut away the ball of wisteria that she managed to make. Now, here's the reason that I had her working in this area. And she is, as a pet, entertaining herself, eating, whatever, but she's still, to me, a working animal. She is a landscape goat. She is some of you have asked before, she is a Kiko Boer mix. So it's a full-sized goat. And right here, if you can sort of see it, there is a stone wall, right? It's not a big stone wall. Anderson kindly grabbed me these other big rocks from another spot in the yard to add to this wall, build it up a little bit. There are a couple of azalea bushes here. I don't even know where the other one is. Azaleas are not good eats for goats, but that's not really a problem because she has eaten all manner of stuff and that she probably shouldn't and has never had a problem with it for a couple of years. But B, as long as there's stuff here that she likes, she's not going to eat the azalea. She's not interested in that. She likes wisteria. But here's where it gets funky, right? There you see all this wisteria, stone wall. This is the tree that her chain is around, so she's got plenty of room to roam. This is where she's been all day. Do you think that she worked on this wall at all? No. This is the deep woods going on over towards the neighbor's yard. George of the jungle, hello over there, George. Far, far, far away out of view. She took this chain as far away from the house as she could get and decided to chew her way to China as far as she could, get stuck over in the woods. So that's the thing. If you give her a real short chain, right, then she gets tangled, she's miserable, she can't eat. You got to come out and wasn't there something in Lost like this? The bushes move and you don't see any animal, but she's right there. So too short a chain, and it's a constant job of moving her around and her getting tangled and miserable. But you give her a long chain, she immediately wants to go as far as she can on it, and generally in the wrong direction as much as possible. And this wilderness, it's not a plan to try and fence all of this and move fencing around. John, You Do It Naturally, is equipped for putting up temporary fencing when he moves his flocks of sheep around and they do work in neighborhoods. He makes a lot of money doing that. He also has a bunch of workers that move the fences for him. There she is, showing her head. But for the summer, it is just me and Blueberry. So we get the 10-foot chain and off we go. And man, I've got to just keep on it. She lets me know too when she's stuck. The house isn't far away, so if I'm in the house, I can hear her. If I'm doing something outside, I can come right away. In land of TMI, just in case you're curious, this is goat poop, right? It's not sticky, messy, really, whatever. It's pretty obvious to see what it is. And it is a fantastic fertilizer. If I felt like digging it all up and bagging it, people would be interested in that. It is great for gardens because of the stomach situation with goats. It's good to go to fertilize the ground. John insists, and I don't know how much of this is in John's head and how much of this is reality. Those of you that have had the sheep and seen them work, maybe let me know. But what John says is when the ruminants, when the sheep and the goats have been through, and they eat this stuff and poop it out and whatever, what comes back, these are invasive species, right? Wisteria doesn't belong here. Wisteria is from China. Some rocket scientist thought, hey, this is pretty, we'll plant it here, it'd be great, it can do some erosion control. They thought the same thing about the kudzu. This is a different climate than China. This is a different climate than Japan. And so what looks beautiful in a pot over there, or looks beautiful in somebody's yard over there, and stays where you want it, here grows up into the trees. It'll bring down a tree like this. It will wrap itself. Anderson has been pretty good about cutting it down from these trees. There's a tree over there that he missed. There's another tree that he missed because that's further way back in the woods. You can hear my friends the frogs starting in. It's getting towards the witching hour out here. But yeah, think carefully, guys, when you are planting your gardens and you're at the garden center and, oh, it's gorgeous, oh, I want that, oh, where did I get that? First off, if you see it online, it's probably AI, it isn't real. So no, you can't buy that amazing thing you saw online, but if you see it at the garden center, number one question, is it native? Where is this plant from? And if it's not from here, think long and fast about putting it down in your yard. If you've got to bring it home, man, put it in a pot. Put it in a pot. Do not do this to yourself. Do not do this to your neighbors. You know, it would not take too much for the cars here to go bye-bye completely under the wisteria. So that's that. But John says that when they eat through an area and they fertilize it like this, it encourages the native species that are here and around, the birds drop or the whatever seeds are deep in the ground, to come up and fill in pastures and grasslands and things like that. I will say the sheep worked really hard in our pasture. Anderson worked really hard in the pasture, and a lot of the stuff that was there before the sheep did not come back after the sheep, but it is wildly overgrown. It's been a few years since the sheep were over there. It is wildly overgrown again with different real tall stuff. And I do not know, I have not thoroughly investigated, is that new tall stuff native and less invasive and less problematic, or is it another invasive species? I'm sure there is still wisteria over there. There was bittersweet over there, which is invasive and it is bad for animals, and we cut that down, and that has not come back. We did get rid of the bittersweet. So sad, it was pretty, but it's a baddie. And I've gone on way longer than I intended to here. So with that, Blueberry's come out again. She's had her dinner and she's about to go in her kennel for the night, and I will say good night too.